Go.
Cycling Time Trials, or CTT, can trace its origins back to 1922 and is responsible for organising time trials in England and Wales. Its purpose then, as now, is to provide uniformity in the conduct of events and ensure the continuance and well-being of the sport. In this video, we look behind the scenes to see what makes the organisation tick and how the sport is run by an enthusiastic team. Sheila Hardy has been CTT's chairman since 2008.
Well, we hope that the viewers will get a greater understanding of the work that we do, an appreciation of what we do, and perhaps help them to feel that they want to be involved with our sport more.
Time trialling came into being when Frederick Thomas Bidlake thought of a plan to overcome police objections to racing on the highway. If each rider were to be dispatched separately and just timed over the course, he wouldn't be seen to be racing, just going about his normal business. Then the person covering the course in the shortest time could be declared the winner. In the early days, and until relatively recently, it was a fairly simple matter of finding a convenient place to start an event, measuring half the intended distance of the event, noting the place where a marshal was to be stationed to turn the riders, and the finish was always opposite the start. The turn, though, could sometimes be a bit precarious. Traffic conditions have all but ended that sort of simplicity.
All the way around.
Today, courses have to be designed with turning points at convenient flyovers or roundabouts. Starts and finishes are rarely very close together, and the provision of a headquarters with changing and other facilities is high on the priority list. As the years have passed, various changes have been made. Time triallers no longer have to meet in secret, wearing what was quaintly called inconspicuous clothing. Pre-event publicity, once forbidden, has been allowed for as long as most people can remember. And prize winners are allowed to be paid money rather than receiving just vouchers or medals. Today, CTT oversees a large programme of events from February through to October. The difficulties in running longer events have seen a fall-off in events over 25 miles, but despite this there are still about 1,400 open events in the CTT handbook and on the website, as well as a substantial programme of club events which are increasingly popular. In 2014, there were nearly 115,000 rides in club events and over 60,000 rides in open events. CTT is also responsible for looking after safety, administration, insurance, national championships and the development and promotion of the sport.
CTT's a company limited by guarantee, and that means that we obviously are a company, and in every sense of the word, the Board of Directors is responsible for keeping the company solvent and complying with the Companies Act. Whether you're a chairman of ICI or you're chairman of Cycling Time Trials, you sit with that same responsibility, and your board is also compliant to those things. But the only difference is the chairman of ICI gets paid a magnificent sum of money. I don't. I'm a volunteer, and like the other people sitting around my table, apart from the paid officers, we do these things for nothing.
There are currently well over 1,200 clubs in membership, and encouragingly this figure is growing year on year. Unlike other national cycling bodies, it is the cycling clubs and teams that affiliate to CTT.
The clubs run the events. On the ground, it's club riders and club officials that run the events. You couldn't do it without any of them. For every event that runs, you'll require somebody to push the riders off, you'll require somebody to organise it, somebody to do the tea, somebody to marshal, somebody to time keep. The general things that people take for granted, but in actual fact, without that infrastructure, you wouldn't actually have any event taking place at all. And we all do take that for granted. A lot of people then will go on and organise a national championship, but in order to organise a national championship you really do need to have some background behind you of organising an event at club level. Most clubs will organise club events and they take place nights during the week. Open events tend to take place at a weekend. But that's where most of the elite athletes that ride their bikes today cut their teeth time trialling, and it's really important to remember we are grassroots riders here.
There is no individual membership, but any member of an affiliated club can ride in their club name in any event run by any club on behalf of CTT. CTT administers the sport through 21 districts across England and Wales. Every member club can send delegates to an annual district council meeting, which elects a committee and appoints delegates to send to the National Council, CTT's annual general meeting. Clubs wishing to make changes to rules can bring these to their district council meeting, and those approved at district level go to National Council for debate and voting. CTT is a thoroughly democratic organisation, proud of the way it's run the sport over many years.
It's a very interesting process that we put in place. It's a little long-winded, but most people come from a club. They join a club because they want to ride their bike. Their club will have an annual meeting, and that annual meeting will elect 2 people to go to the district meeting. The district meeting will have a long conversation and talk about varying things, and then they'll elect anything from 2 to 4 members to go forward to National Council. And National Council is where the decisions are generally made. The districts put their proposals forward for changes to rules and regulations, articles and things that they would like us to do. We then sit down together with everybody in the country to decide exactly what we're going to do, and we debate them, we vote on them and make the changes that are necessary. That's where National Committee, the Board of Cycling Time Trials, is elected, and ultimately obviously the chairman and an appeals committee and auditors and the normal people that you have to work with.
CTT is run on a day-to-day basis by a combination of elected volunteers supported by 1 full-time and a small number of part-time staff.
I'm lucky. I'm supported by a very good team, mostly men. There's only one lady and she's wonderful. Good job I have her there. But the team around me are Nick Sharp, who deals with legal and corporate, and he's a solicitor, which really is a useful person to have sitting alongside you. Of course, Keith Lawton, who's been doing the job as development and goes to all the events and everything else, real rock solid, full time. And then there's the treasurer, Mark Sanders, another very good, reliable, sensible, easygoing man to work with. But of course the most important part of my support team is the Board of Cycling Time Trials. There are 10 members of that, and this time we've got 2 new faces, and it'll be interesting to see how they knit in. We all take an interest in different things and work together well. It's a very good team.
National Council is always a lively and interesting session, and a good way for the sports administrators to share experience and views. But it all starts with the organisers, timekeepers, officials, an army of volunteers who turn out every week during the season to put on the programme of events. One such volunteer is Tony Millington from Manchester, who's recently been awarded a gold badge, the top honour the organisation can give to its volunteers and officials.
A very nice surprise, completely out of the blue. I wasn't expecting it, and it was nice to be presented with some recognition of doing the job. It's for contributing to cycling time trials and helping things to run smoothly. I'm chairman of the Manchester District Committee. I've been on the committee for a long time. I've been chairman the last 7 years. I've been course measuring, timekeeping, a handicapper for events, an event organiser, pretty much everything. I've enjoyed the aspect of competitive cycling for many years, and it's nice to help the sport to continue. It's been great to see the revival in recent years, and the numbers are well up on previous years. It's nice to see it continuing.
If National Council is the key event in CTT's administrative calendar, the biggest social event is Champions Night. This is the occasion, every January, when the champions from the previous season gather to have their achievements acknowledged and receive the impressive range of trophies. Guests of honour presenting the prizes have included many of the great and good of cycle sport, such as Graham O'Bree, Stephen Roach, Brian Robinson, Malcolm Elliott, Magnus Blackstead and David Miller.
It's 23 years ago I came from Hong Kong, and my cycling career essentially began in a lay-by near Thame, which I think is something so British and so perfect about our sport, and the fact that something can start there in such an innocuous place. Thanks to a local club with volunteers, it was High Wycombe CC, Margaret and Gordon Wright, who are here, and Scott Patterson, and there were others who were always there to guide me. But time trialling was what got me into the sport.
It's a glittering night and a fitting tribute to some superb rides.
Do more time trialling. Come and join us. Take the experience.